It's Sprint Series night in America.
Hello, everybody. This is AG here, and welcome to Sprint Series night in America here on AG the channel, the first of 30 races that we are going to run here in the Wawa Sprint Series. And I'm very excited for this series and for this concept because every single week we will be doing sign-ups for the next race. So when you sign up, you only are signing up for the one race. Now, of course, you can sign up for all of the races if you'd like to. When you do sign up, you only got the one race. And after this race here tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have the sign-ups for the Wawa Sprint Series from Daytona. And the big thing about this series, of course, there will be a championship, but the top 4 drivers in each race who finish will also race in that weekend's Wawa Cup Series race as well. So the top 4 finishers here tonight will go on the race in the Wawa 400 on Friday night, and they'll race along with the full-time drivers over there and possibly have a shot at a Wawa Cup Series race victory. I'm joined alongside Josh Williamson for the call of tonight's event here. And Josh, we have a lot of new faces here in this event, but a couple of old ones as well. Do you think the inexperience will create some very intense and exciting racing?
I think it will. This track is prone to that, but I don't even think it's the inexperience that's going to make the good racing. This track has so many grooves, being as wide as it is in the corners for a 20-degree banked racetrack. So, and we've seen how these cars behave on this track before, I think. So I think it's going to be a great race here in the evening time, even with only, have we only got 20 cars on the track here?
20 cars on the track, only 17 laps here tonight. These Sprint Series races are going to be very short. There are no pit stops, and if we do end up with a caution, it'll only be a 2-lap caution period unless we are at 3 laps to go, and it'll thus end the race at that point. So excited to see how it all goes down here for the first race in the Wawa Sprint Series. Hope you guys enjoy along with us here tonight. Here is the 20-car field for the first ever Wawa Sprint Series race, and a lot of new names here, starting in their first ever start on the channel. Jim Vincent left in the 83, driving for your team, Josh, right there at Trinity River Racing. He'll be starting alongside Cole Raymond in the 02 for Triad Racing and Travis Crampton. The 45 of Avery Alford, his first ever start on the channel, also for your team, Josh, alongside the 33 there of Cameron Lessard for Full Frontal Motorsports and William Brock. Got ourselves a 00 machine of Will Parrish. That's a familiar name right there, alongside the 80 machine of Luna Lona, who I do believe I called the race with Trey, won in the GT Le Mans class of the 2.4 hours of Daytona over on Trey's channel. We have ourselves the number 78 of Mason Wood and the 4 of Trey Bartow. The number and the name go very well together. The 9-season Cup veteran, by far the most experienced driver in this field here tonight. Great to see him back. 74, that's Stephen Colon, the Season 6 Turkey Hill National Series champion. Of course, that was cut short, but he was the points leader when it ended. And then the 07 is Emily Bull, her first ever start, development driver there to Landon Smith Jr. We got the number 60 machine, that's Keith Ken, who won twice in the Hers Dash Series last summer. This is kind of the spiritual successor to that series. And the number 7 of Jaden Russell. We got the 75. That is driven by Joe Rutkowski, the Season 7 Truck Series champion. And he's driving alongside the 01 of Luis Rodriguez there in row number 7. We have the 97 machine, or 96, excuse me, of Benny Moore. First driver, I think, other than my own driver I've ever heard with the name Benny. So good to see another Benny in NR2003. We got the 05 of Logan York alongside him there for Triad Racing. 77 there is Samet Oskin, a veteran right there, 3-time winner on the channel. And then alongside him, the Season 8 Cup Series champion of Nathan Baird, back behind the wheel there for Harris Hill Motorsports. Number 40 machine, that is Bruno Giacomo, in the number 40 machine for Full Frontal Motorsports. And he is alongside Philip Torres in the number 85. The starting lineup for this race was determined by the order in which everybody signed up. And Jim Vincent left was the first driver to sign up for a ride last Wednesday night here in the Wawa Sprint Series. We'll go ahead and get these drivers to roll off. Like I mentioned, there is a championship in this series, so if you continue to sign up throughout the season, in the first 20 races, the top 10 drivers in points will then lock their rides on, and in the last 10 races of the season, they'll go for the championship there. But, of course, no one's locked into their ride after tonight, so you're going to have to sign up again if you want to keep on racing here in the Wawa Sprint Series and go for the championship. And, of course, the top 4 finishers will race on Friday night in the Wawa 400 as well. We're excited for the first official points-paying race of the Wawa Cup Series in just a couple of days. Josh, it's a very interesting field. I know you know some names, but might not know some of the others. Who do you think is going to win here tonight in this 17-lap race at Homestead?
Well, as mentioned, with all the grooves that this racetrack has, even with a 20-car field, this is going to be a very racy race, if you will. There's going to be a lot of comers and goers, even in these only 17 laps. But for me, I think I'm going to go about 5 rows back to that 60 of Keith Kent. I think Kent is going to have a rocket ship tonight, and he's going to go to victory lane when this is all said and done.
Of course, there are no driver ratings in the Wawa Sprint Series, unlike in the Wawa Cup Series. However, the cars do have ratings involved from their owners, so we'll see which cars run well here tonight and run it throughout the season. Here we go! The Wawa Sprint Series is underway. It's Sprint Series night in America, and we're underway at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. A very orderly start there for the number 45 of Avery Alford. Vincent left, going to go a little wide there through turns 3 and 4, and Trinity River Racing side by side. We did not plan this. Originally, we were going to have Nathan Stapleton in the booth, but unfortunately he was feeling under the weather, so we pulled Josh aside, and I think you're liking what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, so far so good. Looked like the 0 of Will Parrish tried to make a move to the inside of Avery, but not quite able to, and looks like Jim Vinceleff's going to slip back a little bit. But here's Parrish trying to get to the inside for the race lead as the 0-2 of Cole Raymond tries to follow suit. And on the inside lane now, Raymond's going to make a move to the inside. Winner of the Haas IndyCar Series season finale, I believe, at Pocono at the tail end of 2022. He's looking to get up to the front here at Homestead.
Of course, this is Cole Raymond's first attempt behind the wheel of a stock car. Ran full-time in the Haas IndyCar Series last year. We'll see if he comes back for 2023 over there. But first ever ride behind a stock car here. And here's your pick, Keith Kent, who won twice in the very short Hers Dash Series last year, as Will Parrish takes the race lead away. Will Parrish has never won before on the channel. A great opportunity for him here tonight to get his first career win here on AG the channel. And of course, the top 4 drivers going to go to the Cup race. And early on in the season, when the ratings are still very new, these drivers in the Cup Series and in the owners have not added too many points on yet. The cars are still very equal, so these guys will have a great opportunity to possibly run well and maybe steal a win in the Wawa Cup Series on Friday night. But look at that double 0. Wide out and ahead there for Will Parrish. So he holds on to the race lead. Cole Raymond holding on the second, with Keith Kent and Sam and Oskin there in the 77 in the top 4.
Yeah, Will Parrish pulled off an incredible pass going through turn 3 and 4 while we were looking at Keith Kent. There's Kent sitting in the 3rd position, though, with Oskin going after him. 3-time winner in Season 9 of the Old Cup Series. He's getting the push from the 96 of Benny Moore. Benny Moore started all the way back in the final 3 rows of this race. Oh, my.
On the 0-1. That is Will Parrish's teammate at Cash Motorsports, Eric Drew, the owner of this team. They only run in the Sprint Series. And Luis Rodriguez in his first ever start with an issue. He's coming down the pit lane. It's a tough break for him right there.
Yikes.
Even though the 0-0, Will Parrish pulled out pretty well ahead. Cole Raymond, Sam and Oskin looking very fast right here. Sam and Oskin driving for Aliera's team there. Another Sprint Series only team. As a matter of fact, top 3 drivers right now are all Sprint Series only teams. Triad Racing owned by Travis Crampton and Cole Raymond hard in the outside wall there off the exit of turn number 4. And here comes Trey Bartow. Great to say this name again. Retired after Season 9 of the old Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but for every single season he ran, he drove the number 4, and near the end of his career there, of course, with Titan Fury Racing. Well, this is the Titan Fury Racing number 4 machine, driven by Trey Bartow here tonight, and currently in a position to race on Friday night in the Wawa 400 and the Wawa Cup Series. Here comes the 40, though. Bruno Di Giacomo there in the number 40 for Full Frontal Motorsports. My apologies on butchering the name there. That's the one thing I was a little concerned about, as we have a pass for the race lead. Samet Ozkin moving to the inside of Will Parrish for the top position.
And while all that was going on, Jim Vinslev made a 3-wide bonsai pass a little further back as Ozkin goes to the lead in the Allied Chevrolet. Vinslev made the move around his teammate, Avery Alford, and looks like potentially the 80 of Luna Lona as well. But here comes the 96 of Benny Moore down to the inside of Will Parrish, who led a bunch of the early laps. He jumped out to a huge lead, and now he is being swallowed up by the 77 and 96, and now Moore will be left to chase down Samet Ozkin.
And of course, this is just a preview of what we're going to see Friday night. 67 laps for the Wawa 400 and a cycle of pit stops in that race for the Wawa Cup Series. And 4 of these drivers will join the 36 full-timers in that one. So we're excited to see who ends up in that event here tonight. Samet Ozkin there in the 77 holding on, but Benny Moore in the 96. A great run in his first ever start here on the channel. That's NS Racing and Nathan Stapleton. Nathan's going to be doing a great job keeping up the ratings on his team, and at 96 looking very sporty here. Samet Ozkin holding on to the race lead for Rain Motorsports and Aliera. He's trying to get another owner win. He's won quite a few times as an owner in the past, looking for another one here tonight. We're on lap 11 of 17 here in the Sprint Series at Homestead. Here comes Trey Bartow for the 3rd position on Will Parrish. Great run there for Trey Barton. I was just about to say before Ozkin made the pass for the race lead, the one thing that I'm a little concerned about is remembering the names for everybody, because it's going to be changing every single week. I'm going to be wanting to call the 77 Samet Ozkin all season. But that might not end up being the case. It might be. We'll just have to see how you guys sign up here in about 15 minutes or so for the Daytona race right here on AG the channel. So, got the race and the sign-ups right after. Very interesting concept. This is all very experimental, and excited to see how it all works out. How about Jim Vincent-Cleff in the number 83 up to 4th in a transfer position to go on to the Cup race, and a pass for the race lead. Benny Moore trying to make it work on the inside of the 77 to Samet Ozkin. Don't look now. Here comes Trey Bartow in the 4. As Will Parrish falling way back in that 00 machine. He was out to nearly a second lead at one point, and now he's way outside the top 4 and falling back. How about Nathan Baird putting the bumper there to the 60 of Keith Kent back in there? And like for second, Trey Bartow there on the 77 to Samet Ozkin. They continue the battle on, and Vincent left in the 83, the pole sitter for this race, looking to take 3rd away from the 77.
He may very well look like Parrish had caught the... Oh, somebody else looks like maybe is catching the wall on the outside. Is that Keith Kent?
Oh, and Keith Kent is in the outside wall hard. And he's going to fall back significantly. Man. 4 laps to go here at Homestead in the Wawa Sprint Series. Philip Torres there at the back of the field in the 85, and Luis Rodriguez back out there a lap down. But this is what we want to focus on right here. The battle for the race win. Benny Moore sliding up. Here comes Bartow in the number 4. Trey Bartow looking for his 18th career win on the channel. Of course, he has more wins than anybody in this field. 6 of the drivers in this race have won before on the channel, and 4 of them have won a championship in a series. Trey Bartow, one of those drivers, winning the Season 3 Turkey Hill National Series Championship. We'll have to see if he can pull up to Benny Moore. But Jim Vincent left looking very strong here late in the going of this race in his first ever start on the channel. And he's taking it to the veterans of Trey Bartow and Samet Ozkin. 2 laps to go here at Homestead in the Wawa Sprint Series for Benny Moore in the 96 in NS Racing.
You know, Bartow's going to have a huge chance to close in on that 96. Jim Visleff's right there, trying to get back up to the back bumper of Bartow, the seasoned veteran. Here we go down the back straightaway once again, and looks like Parrish just caught the wall again, a little further behind. Here's Vincent taking a look to the inside, and he'll try to chase down Benny Moore as we come around for the white flag here at Homestead.
1 lap to go in the Wawa Sprint Series at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for Benny Moore in the 96. First ever start for him, first ever start for the 83 in this double-wide battle for second. Maybe exactly what Benny Moore wants to see, looking to get this first ever win in the Wawa Sprint Series. It looks like it's pretty solid for the top 4 to make it into the show on Friday night. Bartow's going to slip back to 4th, but Benny Moore in the number 96 looking to get his first ever win on the channel, his first ever start. He's going to pull it off. Benny Moore wins the Wawa Sprint Series at Homestead. Jim Vincent left in the 83, Salmon Oskin in the 77, and Trey Bartow in the number 4 will all be racing on Friday night in the Wawa 400 and the Wawa Cup Series.
That's awesome. Congratulations to all 4 of them. Big congratulations to Benny Moore. What a way to start your career with a victory. That's about the best way you could. Jim Vincent looked like he was going to get there for a little bit. Got a little squirreled up, I think, being side by side with Salmon Oskin. Good battling there for that second position, but allowed the 96 to pull away. And Trey Bartow, welcome back to Cup Series racing, my man.
I'm happy about that.
Welcome back to Cup Series racing
on Friday night. I love it. Number 4 in Bartow. This is always never changes. Benny Moore, though, with the win, and Jim Vincent left in second with Salmon Oskin and Trey Bartow advancing on to the Cup race. However, everybody receives championship points. Of course, 22 points, actually maybe 23, depending. Well, actually, 23 points guaranteed for Benny Moore because you get a bonus point for leading a lap and another bonus point for leading the most laps. So it's possible Benny Moore may have led the most laps and receives 24 points for the race and then 19 for second and so on. So every point for every position and then 2 bonus points and then the bonus point for leading a lap, bonus point for leading the most laps. Hopefully I explained that well enough for you guys. It's pretty straightforward and simple, and you'll see the points at the end of the video. You will also see the starting lineup for the Wawa 400 on the right-hand side of your screen right now. Now, it might be a little strange to already see that, but of course there is no official qualifying for the Wawa Cup Series. Because the qualifying is a rating for the full-time drivers, so it is determined by the game itself, and those ratings will determine where everyone ends up starting. So you'll see where everyone starts right there. But Benny Moore, great job for the driver, the number 96, just driving right through the field in that NS Racing machine, getting his first ever win on the channel, and he's going to be the points leader. But of course, you guys are not locked in for the next race at Daytona. Sign-ups are going to be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on AG the channel, so we got about 11 minutes until that goes up. So stick around if you want to keep on racing and earn those points throughout the season. And hey, if you're not in the Wawa Sprint Series, if you're not in anything and you want to join the fun at Daytona next week, well, hey, go ahead and sign up. It's open to everyone who is not already a full-time driver or an owner in the Wawa Cup Series or an owner in the Wawa Sprint Series. But hey, congratulations to Benny Moore on his race victory here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in the Wawa Sprint Series. And we'll see you guys next week at Daytona. Sign-ups for that race coming up in 10 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. On behalf of Josh Williamson, we'll see you guys Friday night for the Wawa 400 here in the Wawa Cup Series. I will see you guys later.